Today, I've got 4 stories for you, each packed with drama, controversy, and those moments that make you both frustrated and burst out laughing. From a guy who almost poisoned his girlfriend just because he wanted to clean the bathroom faster to a long-term relationship that crumbled under the weight of pregnancy anxiety, then a breakup over, I'm not kidding, a 6-leaf clover, and finally the emotional gut punch of losing custody of a child after nearly a decade away. If you think your life is dramatic, trust me, by the time you've heard these, you'll realize Reddit always finds a way to take things to an entirely new level. Story 1. The bathroom cleaning. That almost turned into a chemical attack. I'm the kind of person who isn't exactly lazy, but I definitely can't be called tidy. My girlfriend, on the other hand, is a full-on neat freak, so clean that if I drop even a single speck of dust, I can hear her sigh from the next room. We'd just moved in together a few months ago. I knew I'd been making her quietly endure my neglect when it came to cleaning. She never outright scolded me, just the occasional muttered remark that was enough to make me feel guilty. So one day I decided I was going to surprise her. Clean the whole place. Everything. From the living room to the kitchen. She went to the gym and I figured I'd have plenty of time. But when she came back, I still hadn't gotten around to the bathroom. She looked around, smiled brightly, even gave me a kiss and promised there would be a reward later that night. I thought, perfect. I just need to finish this bathroom and I'm golden. She stepped into the bathroom, pulled the shower curtain closed, and turned on the hot water. I looked at the tiled floor and thought I can get this done while she's showering, no problem. And no, I didn't have any creepy peeping intentions. The curtain was thick, solid black, and impossible to see through. I rushed in with a bucket and cleaning products. Then, in a moment of brilliant inspiration, I thought, let's make it strong so it'll clean faster. So I mixed bleach with vinegar. I know, it already sounds stupid. At the time, I just thought the vinegar would boost the cleaning power. I had no idea I'd just created toxic chlorine gas. While mixing, I heard my podcast still playing in the living room, so I stepped out for a few seconds to turn it off. I hadn't even been gone for 10 seconds when I heard a scream. And not the, hey, can you bring me a towel kind of scream. It was the kind of scream that made my blood run cold. I rushed back in, and instantly, my eyes started burning. My nose felt like it was on fire. The combination of hot steam and toxic fumes hit me like a punch to the face. My girlfriend, drenched and completely naked, was coughing violently and yelling, "Are you insane?" She dumped water down the drain, slammed the door shut, and I stumbled back into the living room, head spinning, eyes watering. She came out shivering and furious, wrapped in a towel, and ran straight to the balcony, crying like I had just tried to poison her on purpose. I stammered an apology, but all I got in return was, "Go drive somewhere. I need to breathe." So now I'm sitting in my car, windows rolled down, letting the wind blow in, wondering where exactly I went wrong. And in the back of my mind, the thought keeps creeping in. At least the floor is clean. But yeah, probably best I don't say that to her. Story 2. Breaking up over my pregnancy anxiety. Lily and I had been together for 7 years. On paper, our relationship looked great, but there was one thing I couldn't deny. Something that hung over us like a shadow, my fear of pregnancy. She wanted to get married, have at least 3 kids. Me, I wasn't even sure I wanted to be a father at all. Just hearing the word children made my heart race like I'd just sprinted a mile. So whenever Lily brought up engagement or kids, I'd change the subject or just say, yeah, maybe later. Then this month, everything blew up. Lily was 2 days late. We bought a pregnancy test. It showed a faint line. I immediately went into full-blown panic mode. I couldn't think about anything except, I'm not ready, we're not married, we're not anything yet. I didn't sleep that night. At 2 a.m., I shook her awake. Let's go to the hospital for a blood test just to be sure. She glared at me. I'm sleeping, and I have an IUD. The odds are extremely low, but I couldn't stop. At 4 a.m., I woke her again and repeated the exact same sentence. This wasn't the first time. In fact, it was the 5th time over the years that I'd dragged her to the hospital because I suspected she was pregnant. I'd even limited sex to once every 2 months, checked condoms, checked her IUD like I was some airport security agent and she was a suspicious passenger. In the end, she gave in and went for the test. Result negative. I exhaled in relief, but she stayed silent. That afternoon, Lily told me she wanted to break up. She said she couldn't keep living with someone who turned every month into a medical emergency. She wanted a man who knew what he wanted in life, not someone living in constant fear. Then she said something I'll never forget. You don't want to be a dad, but you're already acting like a bad one. She packed her things and went back to her parents' house. And I just sat there wondering if I'd just lost the love of my life or simply the person who had tolerated me the longest. Story 3. The fight over a 6-leaf clover. Mary and I had been together for 2 years. One of our little quirky couple activities was hunting for 4-leaf clovers. I was ridiculously good at it. I'd spot them without even trying. My collection was overflowing while Mary had never found a single one. Last year, we went on what we called a clover date. As usual, I found several. Mary found nothing. It was fine. This was always my thing, something I was unquestionably better at than her. Until our most recent date. Barely 10 minutes in, Mary shouted I found one holding up a 4-leaf clover. I snapped a photo, smiled at her, but inside, I felt a little pang. This was my territory. 10 minutes later, I found one myself, and my confidence returned. But Mary wasn't done. I heard her shout again. I figured, okay, another 4-leaf clover. But when she came running over, I froze. In her hand was a 6-leaf clover. 6 leaves. I stared at it like the universe had just betrayed me. I snatched it from her hand to check if it was 2 clovers stuck together. Nope, it was real. I told her I'm keeping this one. She immediately shot back, I found it. It's mine. And that's when the argument started. I told her I was the seasoned hunter, so I deserved it. She said it was the first time in her life she'd found something that rare. Then Mary started crying. I accused her of using emotional tactics and told her she was overreacting. She stormed off to sit in the car while I kept searching and found a few more before joining her. The ride home was tense. 15 minutes later, I decided to end things. I said we should break up, and straight up told her she was selfish for not giving me the 6-leaf clover. All she said was, "You're the worst man I've ever loved," before stepping out of the car and slamming the door. I did give the 6-leaf clover back later, but honestly, part of me still wanted to keep it. And I know, if I ever find another one, I won't let anyone else touch it. Story 4. Losing custody. After being away for 9 years, in 2013 I left my daughter in the U.S. with my sister to take care of her. At the time, my husband had been offered a great job overseas. We planned to be gone for just 1 year. I thought she had just started school and she had some health issues. It would be best to leave her in a familiar environment. We drew up legal guardianship papers. Everything was clear. We sent money regularly and called it a temporary arrangement. But 1 year turned into 2. Then my husband's contract got renewed again, and we stayed, year after year. By 2016, my sister applied for government benefits for my daughter. That triggered a legal process. I was ordered to pay child support, and I agreed without hesitation. I thought it's just money as long as she's okay. But my sister didn't stop there. In 2018, she filed for full custody. And this year, the court ruled to terminate our parental rights on the grounds of abandonment. According to the court, paying money didn't count as being involved in the child's life. 9 years without seeing her, hugging her, taking her to school, or being there for her birthdays. All of it was evidence against us. Now she calls my sister Mom, and me. I'm just a woman living on the other side of the world sending monthly payments. We plan to return to the U.S. at the end of this year. I want to fight to get my custody back. But honestly, sometimes I wonder, if I come back, will she even recognize me? Or to her, am I just someone who left for nearly a decade and now wants to barge into a life she's already settled into? And that wraps up today's 4 stories, each one a different slice of love, selfishness, fear, and sometimes pure indifference. Whether you found yourself sympathizing with someone or feeling furious at them, one thing's for sure, these situations are bound to keep people talking long after the video ends. If you've ever lived through a similarly crazy experience, drop it in the comments. Who knows, it might just make it into the next Reddit Echoes video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss the drama-packed, true Reddit stories we bring you every week.